So we are on the brink of a major move taking place for Tesla stock that I believe a lot of market participants are not currently prepared for. And so in this video, I want to go ahead and highlight some of those talking points that everyone should absolutely be mindful of that are pertinent to the price action of Tesla stock. Now, in the past on this channel, we've delved into the conversation of the vote taking place on June 13th on whether or not Elon Musk gets his pay package, which was something that was done back in 2018. It was voted for. However, recently we had a judge strike that down, and we've talked about the ramifications of it not going in Elon Musk's favor. We've talked about how if Elon Musk does not receive his pay package, he's threatened to go ahead and spin off some of the AI and robotic segments of Tesla into other companies. And that's a big concern because a lot of the investors, a lot of the capital in Tesla has been based off of the idea of Tesla doing much better in the future and having a great performance because of its AI and because of its robotic segments. And so, of course, if Elon Musk spins that off, well, that means that Tesla will just be a car company if that is removed. And so we're currently already seeing Elon Musk take some of the employees and some of the workers that were fired from Tesla and taking them to XAI, which is his AI startup. And so a bit concerning, to say the least, but we're also getting a bit of bad news. Now, I want to go ahead and share some of the recent developments. Now, of course, I'm not here to tell you guys whether you should vote for it, vote against it. I'm just here showing you guys what's taking place, and it's not looking too well for Elon or Tesla. Now, the reason I say this is because we're seeing a lot of the smaller retail investors saying they're for it, that they believe Elon Musk should get the package. It was originally voted for in 2018, just pay the man. But we're seeing a lot of large financial institutions and a lot of large retail investors as well opting out and saying no. They don't think Elon Musk deserves that. They're, stating that, Tesla stock hasn't done anything in the last 3 years. It's actually been falling down. And they often, state that Elon Musk is not really focusing on Tesla. The big focus has been on X, formerly known as Twitter. But besides that, we had this publication from a firm just recently stating that they're going to be voting against it and that everyone should. However, we recently had Tesla and also Elon Musk strike back saying that that firm has omitted key considerations, they're using faulty logic, etc. And then they're saying that, look, don't listen to these guys. You might as well vote for Elon Musk's pay package. And what's very interesting to me, right, is that we're seeing day in and day out Elon Musk and also Tesla pretty much promote the idea of voting for Elon. Now, that's not bad. Of course, that's not bad. But what is a bit odd is that we're having even ads for Tesla promote everyone to vote for Elon Musk's pay package, which is a bit interesting because historically Tesla was a company that did not even spend on revenue or anything for they didn't spend on advertising, right? Any dollars or budgeting on advertising for their vehicles, right? To increase revenues, that's what I meant to say. However, we're seeing them spend money on advertising to have them vote for Elon Musk's pay package. So a bit interesting. Now, again, we're seeing every single day pretty much Elon Musk reply to someone or pretty much quote something stating that he should be getting paid. I get it, right? If you're trying to defend a paycheck, you're going to defend your paycheck. I just find it interesting that they're spending money on advertising when they never did so for their vehicles. Now, going back to this article right over here, we're also seeing another large institutional holder, right, which is California's Public Employees Retirement Pension Fund, right? It's one of the largest pension funds in the United States by assets, and they're honestly voting against Elon Musk's pay package. So again, another large institutional holder voting against it. Now, if we kind of just scroll down, we're seeing that over the past few weeks, we're getting a lot of institutional investors, right? Already 8 of them have announced that they oppose Elon Musk's pay package. And we're also, again, seeing large retail holders. We saw a couple of the large ones on X.com and other media outlets state that they're voting against it. Now, again, I'm not telling you guys to vote against it, right? I actually personally voted for it because despite me kind of ringing the bells back in December 28th that Tesla was overvalued, I still hold shares in Tesla, my long-term portfolio. I think people get that wrong. People are like, oh, Justin, you're so bearish on Tesla. I was just saying, look, I'm not buying more shares of Tesla because things are likely to fall down, and things have. In fact, the last time I bought shares was pretty much after the earnings, where we had pretty much some optimism from the earnings call and we saw Tesla spike up massively. I bought some shares here, but for the duration of this period, people were upset because I was saying, look, I'm not buying shares. Everyone thought this was a great time. I said, no, we're likely to fall down even further. And indeed we did. It wasn't until the earnings so I bought more shares, but this isn't a video about when I'm buying. Of course, you guys should always do whatever you see value and you shouldn't copy me. I'm just some guy here who, of course I have a background in finance, but I'm just some guy here talking about Tesla stock, and I could be completely wrong. But one thing I will say is that this vote not taking place and Elon Musk possibly spinning off the AI segments and the robotic segments of Tesla, into separate companies, that's not going to bode well for Tesla. And we're already at this area from a technical standpoint where we have a lot of volume relative to price. So that's why we've been consolidating. I've been saying this for a while, that pretty much we're just having these little up and down days, nothing major taking place. And that's because we have a lot of volume relative to price. Now, when June 13th comes and it doesn't go in Elon Musk's favor, well, we could see things kind of retreat back to that 130 area. Now, that's not going to be great, especially if we have confirmation that Elon Musk is really going to stick to his words and, spin off the segments that are important and vital for the growth of Tesla, right? That's not going to look very well. And I may even consider just exiting out of Tesla, because part of the reason I still hold shares in Tesla is my optimism for the robotic segments, right? I'm still very optimistic. I've been saying, look, from a car company perspective, the fundamentals are pretty bad, right? We've seen that 72.5% of Tesla's revenues are from cars. I shared the data in previous videos. They're not selling as many cars. We're in a bad macroeconomic environment. In fact, speaking about the macroeconomic environment, I want to highlight how we recently had the first revision of the GDP numbers, and we saw that we came lower, right? So real gross domestic product, the numbers came down. And part of the reason this came down is because real personal spending went down. That's this line right over here, this dark black line right here. That's the personal spending. It's falling down. And, personal spending contributes to a large chunk of the GDP numbers. And one of the things that Bloomberg came out and said was that consumer spending was marked down as outlays for goods, and particularly autos were much softer. Now, of course, autos are much softer, right? It's not that hard. People were saying, oh, Justin, how did you know that Tesla was going to do very poorly during, the beginning of 2024? It's not that hard to see the writing on the wall. Of course, when we had the federal funds rate at the highest levels that they've been in decades, meaning that for people to borrow, it costs a lot more money. Well, guess what? That means if you're going to buy a car, which most people who buy cars, they don't buy it with cash. Very few people have bought in cars with cash. Most Americans buy cars by financing it. Now, if the interest rates to finance those cars are much higher, does that mean that people are going to buy more cars? No. It means that it's less likely that people are going to buy cars because it's too expensive, right? We've talked about that, right? The macroeconomic climate. And so right now we're in a situation where, from a car perspective, it's not a good environment for Tesla. And we acknowledge that, we know that, but everyone always says, but Justin, it's the AI segments, it's the robotic segments. And I agree, and that's why I still hold shares in Tesla. But if those segments were to spin off, well, that could be something that would be very horrible for Tesla. Now, I know some individuals will say, look, Justin, Elon Musk is not going to do it, and I don't think he will as well. However, Elon Musk has been known to be someone who's a bit temperamental, and kind of, I don't have to say much. Everyone knows Elon Musk's behavior. Elon Musk is kind of I'm going to use the acronym here, GFY. I'm not going to say it here on YouTube, type of person, right? GFY. Go, yourself, right? And so, he may actually stick by his words and say, look, you guys didn't vote for it. Okay, I'm gone, right? Let's go ahead and build other projects somewhere else. And so that's the main concern. But on the opposite view, if we do have that pay package take place, well, that could be very great. And that could finally take Tesla out of this area where there's a lot of consolidation because there's a lot of volume relative to price, and finally put us back into that 200, the low 200 area, which I would be extremely excited for. Because again, my long-term portfolio, I may provide an update maybe in a community post, so consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss out on my community post. Just highlighting where my positions are for my long-term portfolio and where I'm at year to date. I believe right now, year to date, I'm up 15%, while the S&P 500 is somewhere over 12%. So I'm still beating the market, but something that's holding down my portfolio has been Tesla. Something that's been helping my portfolio is Nvidia, right? I've talked about how Nvidia, we bought it much, we did a lot of buying back in December when we talked about it breaking out, and people, were now chasing it when we were early on within the Push and Profit private group, which, by the way, if you want to have access to the Push and Profit private group, where I share trade ideas as well as my daily briefings, it's going to be the first link in the description below. But with that said, you guys let me know in the comment section down below, are you guys concerned about Tesla as well? Or do you guys believe that it's going to go in Elon Musk's favor and we're going to see a lot of amazing products come out in regards to the product line for Tesla in the near future? You guys let me know in the comment section down below. But before you guys go, make sure to check out this video right over here, and I'll see you guys on that next video. Take care, guys.